Welcome back to another episode of Don't Jump Podcast.
Hi, I'm so glad we didn't jump.
As you can see, we're both still here.
But anyway, how have you been?
I've been good.
Mm-hmm.
The streets are saying 2026 is going to be like 2016 because they're 10 years apart.
Oh my God, that was the best year, man.
That was the best year of my life. Party every day.
Every day.
Literally, I would wake up in a random house that we've been partying in. Someone would drive me to work. So I didn't have a car at the time. I was in Florida. Someone would drive me to work. And then I'd work from like 4 to 10 p.m. at TGI Fridays. So one of my friends would pick me up from work, take me back to a random house, and we'd party until 2 a.m. I'd sleep until 2,
Wow.
repeat.
That's the energy I bring into 2026.
Yeah.
I did not have that experience, but I respect it.
Mm-hmm.
And people don't understand why I love Drake so much.
Yeah.
It's because 2016.
But he's gross.
I mean, we all have problems.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I can't tell you what I think of when I think of 2016. So you know what? Moving on. I want to be canceled.
Okay.
So, Simone,
Yeah.
I'm going to chop my pretzel for another minute or two.
Okay, I kind of like it. I'm into it.
Cue our intro.
Welcome to Don't Jump, the podcast about surviving workplace nightmares. I'm Simone.
And I'm Sam. Every week we dig into the internet's wildest job stories because honestly, sometimes you just need the will to live.
And sometimes you just need to laugh so you don't cry.
So grab your coffee, ignore your boss's emails, and let's get into it.
Today's episode is about your favorite person at work. Can you guess who?
Myself.
Okay. If you had to exclude yourself, who would your favorite person at work be?
The intern who gets me called.
Wrong. It's HR.
Oh, okay.
So today's episode is all about HR. Can HR be your friend? Does HR look out for you, the employee? We know that the answer is usually, they're there to protect the company.
Absolutely
But
not.
can HR be a helping hand?
No, I personally feel like everyone is out to get me.
Mm.
And HR's role, the reason why they're hired is to get you. Never trust them.
Okay. I mean, that's scary to think about, though, that the people who onboard you, the people who set you up with your benefits, you do not think that they have employees' interests at heart in some way, shape, or form?
Let's be real. Of course not.
Oh.
HR is to protect the company.
Technically, yeah.
What do you mean technically?
But they're still people.
Okay.
I'm not an HR defender. I'm just playing the devil's advocate like a white boy in college.
It's sounding like you're an HR defender.
I promise you I'm not an HR defender.
I think you can be cordial, and I think you obviously respect anybody in the workplace. And there is a power dynamic where you're actually you'd feel comfortable to tell HR your business, what you did last weekend, how you moved in 2016. You would tell HR that?
I would do everything in my power to keep that information away from HR.
Right. So HR is not your friend, in short.
Well, I would be curious if any of these stories change your mind or make you feel more firm in that belief.
Okay, let's get into it.
The first story.
HR went straight to my boss when I spoke to them about my boss. WTF. Hi there. I have never before went to HR about issues at work. My boss, over the past months, has made me very uncomfortable when he speaks to me. I'm the only girl in the department, and at times it feels like he's taking his home life out on me. I am taking too many phone calls or meetings where he's outright an asshole to me, like mocking my work or blaming me for things he didn't do, etc. FYI, I'm not his assistant. Anywho, I didn't know what else to do. I wrote down things when they happened and took it to HR. I didn't hear back from them for weeks. I have now been invited to a meeting with HR and my boss labeled discuss concerns. Like what? I was uncomfortable and now you're making it 100 times more awkward. How is this right? Just seems like they want me to leave. I don't know how this is appropriate. Simone, initial thoughts, reactions, concerns, complaints?
I can tell that she's young. When you go to HR, you're automatically escalating the situation.
Yep.
You cannot expect to go to HR and there not to be a larger conversation.
That's fair.
That's the point of HR.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know what conversations they had with their boss directly. I would hope that before they live in this group chat, that HR had to sit down with the boss
Mm-hmm.
and I gave him like a refresher on how to treat people.
Mm-hmm.
But my question, what did you think was gonna happen? What did you think? You wanted them to just fire him without?
That'd be sick as fuck.
It would be sick, but again, HR, they're ops. Like it's not your friend who you're venting to. It's a mandated employee
Mhm.
who is trying to protect the best interests of the overall company. And that often looks like looping in the person you have an issue with so you can have a larger, greater discussion on how to move forward. So, like, I get that she's frustrated, but I'm like, sister, what do you think?
Yeah. The first commenter honestly agrees with you. They say, honestly, if your complaint is how your boss specifically treats you, you should have expected that any HR investigation or solution would involve them talking to him. Setting up a mediation between the two of you doesn't sound inappropriate, especially if the boss's version of the story is that he isn't treating you badly or that he didn't say the things that you said he did.
Right. That's how I feel. Am I wrong, Sam? Do you feel differently?
I don't feel differently, but you made a very good point that OP sounds like they're on the younger side. And when you're on the younger side, I'm gonna try not to make assumptions about OP, but for the sake of this discussion, let's say that OP doesn't have family members who works in corporate America, doesn't have like mentors or
Right.
professors they lean on from their college or wherever they did their education that got them this job. Who are you supposed to go to when you are feeling that you're being persecuted at that point then? Right?
Oh, quit.
Oh, but they can't quit. They need the money. They need the money. And if you are fresh on the workforce, fresh in a corporate job, you can't call your mom or dad who has been in corporate America for 20 years. You do not have a professor that you stay in touch with from college who can give you advice on this. Who else do you go to for advice?
I know. There are just like unspoken rules that through your corporate journey, you unfortunately learn that you take that to your therapist. There's no
Awful.
what do you want me to say? It's the truth. There's nobody at your job.
I'm gonna cry.
What do you want me to say to you?
The ops are in the comments. The next commenter says, HR here. If you would come to me with this, I would have first had a conversation with you to determine if a policy was broken. There's usually no policy against being an asshole boss. There should be. If a policy was broken, it would be my duty to investigate, and I couldn't promise confidentiality. I would have to get your boss's side of the story. If a policy wasn't broken and if this was a workplace conflict, I would offer a couple of options. I would coach you on how to handle this directly with your boss without my involvement, or I would intervene and try to mediate the situation. Regardless of the option, though, typically workplace conflict is handled by the next level manager, not HR. So if a policy wasn't broken and depending on the severity of the situation, I might get your boss's boss involved.
Mm-hmm.
All of that is to say, I think the only thing your HR could have done differently is to let you know in advance how they plan on helping you resolve this issue.
Mm-hmm.
The horse is out of the barn now, so your best approach at this point is attend the meeting with facts, evidence, and confidence.
I think that's very helpful context. I
Mhm.
do feel like her OP's HR could have handled the situation with more sensitivity and
Mhm.
letting her know, hey, the next step would be X, Y, and Z, because it was probably jarring for her to
Mhm.
just like see a calendar invite
Yeah.
and then you begin to spiral. So I understand the messiness of that,
Mhm.
but I do feel like to this HR commenter on the post, like, yeah, it's kind of their job to investigate and escalate. And so once you tell somebody, the ball is gonna roll. So
That's making me sad because I'm not going to read any more comments, but the majority of them are saying, start looking for a new job, bitch. That's what most of the comments after this say.
so they're saying people feel that the boss is gonna retaliate.
Yes, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, what could OP have done differently about the situation to handle the situation? Just deal with it? Just find a new job from the get go? Just quit?
Yeah.
Oh,
And then in your exit interview, lay it out for them. Sorry, I know that's terrible, but a lot of navigating your corporate experience is like
Mhm.
reading a room, taking the temperature of
that's
the
very
room.
true.
If you feel like HR or your boss's boss is going to do something about a perceived toxic environment, then by all means, if it is a safe space, do that.
Mhm.
But I'm willing to bet more often than not a safe space. Don't do that. Deal with it internally and leave. Like,
Reminds me of our friend. We'll cut this out if she doesn't want this in here. Reminds me of our friend who was having a conversation with her boss.
literally.
Was having a one-on-one conversation with her boss about just how to like make things better in their workplace relationship. The boss asked if there's any concerns she had, and she said, "Yeah, I do feel like this is a bit of a toxic workplace. I would like for it not to be. Like, I want to work with you to make it better." And she got fired 2 days later.
Fired. Fired. When they're asking you for your advice, it's a setup. It is always a setup. The reason why with your comment about this person who probably doesn't have other people working in corporate America or someone to lean on, like, makes me feel so sad because it is true. And these are all unspoken rules because in a normal fucking functioning society, if someone says, "Is there anything that I can do to help you?"
Yes.
and you give them actionable feedback, you're thinking they're gonna change. No, they're setting up a case to fire you.
Yeah.
For more context, her boss was, well, if you feel that way, then this is not the place for you to be. And that is such an important life lesson because that company culture existed before you and 9 times out of 10 will exist
After you.
So you're not gonna lead some sort of corporate charge to like change. I just if that is beyond you, give it to God and go, sorry,
Amen.
poor girl.
Poor girl. We're RIP, OP. I hope you're doing okay. That post from a year ago, so OP is a year older now. And I'd hate to say I hope they've learned some lessons because Lord knows I learned a lot of lessons in my first few years of corporate, but hopefully things are better now with any lessons that OP have learned.
A year older, a year wiser.
A year more traumatized by
Period.
corporate America.
Yeah.
So our next story comes from Am I the asshole? Am I the asshole causing a coworker to get written up by HR? I, 33 male, work in an office with lots of different people. The other day in the break room, I was speaking with a coworker about the student loan system in the US. Another coworker, 36 female, who was eavesdropping, interrupted us to say that only people like her who have kids should get a say in what is taught in schools. Not wanting to get into it, I tried to explain to her that wasn't even what we were talking about. She kept replying that because I don't ever plan on having kids, I shouldn't have any opinion on the educational system. This really annoyed me, even though it made no sense as an argument, and I told her verbatim, I'm not less of a person because I didn't pop brats out of me. She got really flustered and left. The next day, I got called into our manager's office where an HR rep and the coworker are waiting. The coworker goes on to say I harassed her by saying I told her she should have her tubes tied and that she shouldn't be shooting 1,000 kids out her vagina. I was very annoyed and explained that was certainly not what I said. My story was corroborated by 3 other employees. Here is where I may be the asshole. I, in turn, filed an HR complaint against this coworker for lying about me. Now she is under investigation. This looks like it might impact a promotion she is up for. People in the office are saying I should have let it go and it was over the line to report her that close to a promotion. I just feel it wouldn't be an issue if she didn't lie. Am I the asshole?
No.
I agree.
In what war are you the asshole?
Mhm.
She fucked around and found out.
Yep.
She
Play stupid
started it.
games, win stupid prizes.
Hello. There's nothing OP did that was wrong. There's nothing else to add to that. I mean, what are the commenters saying?
The first commenter says, not the asshole. People like her have no place in professional environments and especially don't deserve to be in any position of authority. You've done her potential future subordinates a huge favor.
I also feel like people who are willing to run to HR, like and tattletale on somebody else,
Uh-huh.
she has a warped view on reality. And she feels like she could just dish and she doesn't have to take that you are the righteous person in every scenario and you're not able to literally just reap what you sow.
Yeah.
If you had a problem with me, fine, I have a problem with you. And now what? How are you sensitive when you were willing to ruin my own promotions, my own career? If I hold up a mirror to you, I'm the asshole? No. We're playing the same game, babe.
The second commenter said basically the same thing as you. If she's willing to lie to HR to get people in trouble, she has no right to manage other people. She is toxic, petty, immature, and dangerous to the organization. She should be managed right out of a job, frankly.
That's so true. Why would you want this person who's a liar to move up?
And be a manager.
Yeah, that is so true.
What I do like about this story, though, I mean, that coworker fucking sucks, and I hope she's, I don't know, not mentioning anyone.
Sure.
But it feels like HR was essentially a tool in this story, right? Because HR wasn't really super, involved with OP doing anything to OP. HR wasn't really on that dumbass coworker's side. HR was just like, this person's in trouble. Now this person's in trouble. So it's kind of like, in some ways, while it sucks that HR probably can't be your friend, maybe HR can be a tool. Like,
Again, take the temperature. I think the only reason why OP filed a suit was because a suit was filed against them. So I feel like in this instance, I would do the exact same thing.
what would make you think to do that? Because I don't know if I would think to do that in the same situation.
I feel like Why wouldn't you?
Hmm.
She lied on me.
Yeah.
If this HR person was doing their investigation
Mm-hmm.
and I'm being confronted with, I'm saying, hey, I didn't tell her to tie her tubes, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
that automatically and telling my truth is going to get you in trouble because it's going to open up a larger can of worms like you're the liar.
That's true.
I am more concerned that OP's coworkers are like, you shouldn't have done that. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
So what should he have done? Lay down and take it?
That's probably what I would have done.
Really?
I think if I was pulled into a meeting with her in HR where HR said, you said this, and I said, no, I didn't. And then three other people said, no, she didn't. I'd be like, okay, you saw it. Yeah. Like, you're clearly a lying fucking bitch. Bye.
No, maybe I'm just more petty than you.
But I think that's the right move, though. And I think that's the advice people need. Like, I don't know to do that. Like, I wouldn't think to do
No,
that.
if you're gonna take it low,
Mhm.
I'm gonna take it to hell. Are
Mm.
you kidding?
And once you take it low and then I prove that you're a low down, dirty, lying ass
Hello.
bitch,
Hello.
I'm gonna leave and I'm gonna go get some ice cream and I'm gonna go on a walk.
No, you're right. That's so Michelle Obama of you.
Oh.
I'm taking it to hell.
Mm.
I feel like I'm Cardi B COVID.
Careful of me. That's the best Cardi B song. I don't care what anyone says. It's the best Cardi B song.
Anyway, yeah, I'm proud of OP. Sometimes you have to be petty, and I think HR did the right thing in this case, and they
Mhm.
investigated and listened to both sides, and they were utilized in the purpose that I feel HR should be.
I agree wholeheartedly. Topic change. Did
Okay,
you watch the last season of Love Island? Or 2 seasons ago?
2 seasons, yes.
Remember when Cordell was like, I want to be sponsored by Cheez-Its?
And then he became,
Yeah.
you want to be sponsored?
I want to be sponsored by Rolled Gold Pretzels.
Progon, she will only eat your pretzels.
Only pretzels I eat.
I brought another brand of pretzels.
I threw them bitches out.
She threw them out. She said, ghetto, roll, what is it called? Roll gold?
Rolled Gold. Get it right,
Rolled
bitch. We're gonna get that to house.
only. And look, she did put me on because they're thin and they're crispy.
Mm.
They have like a perfect salt
Mm.
crust ratio. They're really good.
They're my favorite snack. It's like the only thing I can snack on. Like, Rolled Gold Pretzels are just the perfect snack. Okay, moving on. Next story comes from, once again, Am I the Asshole? Am I the asshole for reporting my coworker to HR for using the office fridge to store her homemade lunches? What the fuck does HR have to do with the office lunches?
Also, off of like the title, like yeah, like let her store.
What the fuck?
Who cares? I don't understand why you care.
Is HR your friend? No. But are you my friend if you're getting HR involved in stupid shit? No.
That's my problem. And I'm gonna hear OP out.
Mhm.
My issue, similar to the last story, is when people weaponize HR and like try and tattletale, almost like we're
Mhm.
talking about free. This is not sexual harassment. We're
Yeah.
talking about she's
Your lunch.
like hello, we're adults.
Maybe HR doesn't suck. Maybe it's just your coworkers that suck.
Interesting, but HR facilitates the environment that allows them.
You're
to
so
suck,
right.
So it all rolls up to the HR.
And that's why every company should have a director of internal health and wellness, and they should hire me to fill that role.
Okay. Hire her and sponsor her.
From previous posts, some of you already know that my workplace has a few characters. Well, here we go again. Okay. A few weeks ago, I noticed that it was getting harder and harder to find space for my lunch. The fridge was always crammed full, and I soon realized that one of my coworkers, Anna, was using it to store a bunch of homemade lunches she sells to other employees. Hell yeah, Anna, get your side hustle on, bitch. What the fuck? I should do that. Wait, I'm remote.
I like Anna.
I like Anna too.
I like Anna.
Anna is a great cook, and her lunches are popular. She brings in about 15 pre-made meals a day, storing them in the fridge until people pick them up throughout the day. At first, I didn't think much of it, but it started to become a real problem when there was barely any room left for anyone else's food. I decided to talk to Anna, suggesting that she might consider using a cooler or finding another way to store her meals since the fridge was meant for everyone. She didn't take it well. She got defensive, saying that her food was in high demand and that she had every right to use the fridge. She even hinted that if I wanted more space, I should start buying her lunches instead of bringing my own. That's a marketer. That's a marketer. That's a marketer.
I love Anna.
Anna was furious with me and made it her mission to make my life at work miserable. She started spreading rumors about me, telling people that I was jealous of her success and trying to sabotage her business. Then she took it a step further. Anna went to HR. Damn it, Anna! Okay.
I need to calm down.
I was on her side.
I know, but then she became an odd.
Ugh. Anna went to HR and claimed that I was harassing her and creating a hostile work environment. She even got a couple of her friends in the office to back up her story, lying about things I supposedly said and did. HR called me in for a meeting to address the complaints, and I was blindsided. I had no idea she was plotting to get me fired. Luckily, I had documented my interaction with Anna and was able to prove that her claims were false. HR ended up dismissing the complaints against me, but the damage was done. The whole situation just left me feeling isolated at work, and now a lot of my coworkers see me as the bad guy thanks to Anna's lies. So, am I the asshole for reporting her in the first place? Or did I just make things worse for myself by not handling it differently?
Two things can be true.
Mm,
Like, you can be maybe not a complete asshole because he made good points,
yeah.
but you did make it worse for yourself. I think the takeaway for this episode should be like, go to HR if you absolutely fucking have to. There were probably other
Avenues.
avenues to
Mhm.
store your lunch. Like, yeah, it's annoying, but Anna is a businesswoman, obviously well liked,
Mhm.
and she's storing her shit in the fridge on your floor. If you told her to have those lunches moved to other floors, I thought annoying. Maybe you could have put your lunch on a different floor
Yeah.
and have gotten it. I know it sucks, and I know you're bending for her, but yeah, you could have also gone to maybe a different coworker or
Mhm.
your boss or someone in your direct like pod
Mhm.
instead of escalating it to the actual literal cops.
Yeah. I mean, the first commenter makes a pretty good point. They say if these lunches are being consumed by your colleagues the same day, then the real issue is that your workplace needs a second fridge. Everyone's lunch should fit.
So that's why I thought I was like a big corporate building with
Mhm.
several floors, and
Mhm.
maybe Anna's network is like, not only the marketing team is getting her lunches, but like BA on the floor across the hall, like whatever. So
Mhm.
maybe her network is like across the entirety of the team. I don't know. But yeah, I mean that is a good point. There's a storage issue.
Yeah.
I mean, this is such an easy little fix, and obviously like I do feel there might be more to the story because OP is like, "Oh, her friends got like lie for her." Even if you're my bestie at work, I'm not gonna lie to HR.
I'm also confused because OP ended their post with "So am I the asshole for reporting her in the first place?" But OP never said they reported her. OP just said that they talked to Anna, suggested that she might consider using a cooler or finding another way to store her meals. And then they go on with the story and eventually say that Anna goes to HR. But they never talk about them going,
I see what you're saying.
right?
So OP's a liar.
Yeah.
There are inconsistencies in the story.
There are inconsistencies, and I hate that because it's a nice long paragraph, so I want to believe them because it looks official.
Maybe what they meant to say, like, am I an asshole because I led my colleague to go to HR? Maybe
But they
like
say, "Am I the asshole for reporting my coworker to HR?" That's the title of the post.
maybe because like they gave HR timestamps, but at that point, no, if you get brought into HR,
Mhm.
you're gonna defend your life.
Yeah, I'm gonna give my
Ev-
receipts.
Everything in your arsenal, every single thing.
Mhm.
So there's nuance to this. It does sound like OP's just kind of a prick though. And like OP and Anna, everybody's a prick in this story.
Yeah, everyone sucks here. I will say, maybe I'm a little bit evil.
Uh-huh.
Luckily, no one will have to work with me in person again. Hopefully, I'll be remote forever. But me personally, if my lunch didn't fit in the fridge, I'd just put that bitch in there and close the door. And if the door doesn't close all the way, everyone's lunch gets to be lukewarm. What the
Real.
fuck? My shit better fit.
Or through the freezer, I would put some of those pre-made lunches in
Yeah.
the freezer and say they can defrost it.
They have some Diet Cokes in there chilling. The Diet Cokes can come out. Fuck your Diet Coke.
How
Fuck your
long-
caffeine addiction. My meatballs are gonna be fucking chilled until it's time for me to microwave them.
And I don't think that's unreasonable.
Thank you. Our story of the day, hopefully a fun one. I thought this one was hilarious. So I hope it makes you hee hee ha ha.
I want a hee hee ha ha, Sam.
Please hee hee ha ha. Okay. Today I fucked up by telling head of HR that no one cares about his survey. 6 months ago, our HR team rolled out a survey. It was a simple score your happiness affair. But like most office surveys, participation was dismal. No one really saw a point. Past surveys yielded zero changes. Unsurprisingly, completion rates were low, which is how we ended up with a surprise visitor, a stern-faced man in a suit. Being oblivious and the first person he saw, I became his target. He inquired about the survey and if I had any part in promoting it to my colleagues. My brilliant response, a nonchalant, probably because no one cares about the survey. He just stared at me, the weight of my accidental insult hanging heavy. Awkward silence followed after, which he retreated. A few minutes later, my manager appeared, doubled over with laughter. Apparently, I just insulted the head of HR. My face flushed as I explained the misunderstanding. Little did I know, news of the disrespectful manager reached the head office. Fast forward to a recent promotion opportunity. I aced the interviews but was not chosen. My manager, with a sympathetic smile, revealed the real reason: my notoriety as the guy who snubbed the head of HR. Apparently, promoting me would cause more issues. TLDR, I told the head of HR that no one cares about his survey.
I
Sucks,
mean,
bro.
it sucks, but there are consequences to your actions. I think that like a real HR rep would want to investigate why someone is taking the survey and
If they actually care about doing their job.
if they care. But so many people in corporate don't actually care about the job; they care about their ego. And so I believe OP. I believe this happened. I'm not surprised by it, and I do feel like that's he's gonna be retaliated against for the rest of his tenure there. At that point, babe, it's time to wrap it up.
Time for a new job.
and
But
look something
OP,
else.
you're a real ass nigga, bro.
No.
Okay, time for me to go teach a yoga class. So thank you.
This has been real.
This has been real as fuck.
Outro. Boom.
This has been Don't Jump Podcast. Sam here.
And Simone, follow the show, send us your workplace horror stories, and remember,
We're all just doing our best not to jump.
money,
Money,
ass,
money, money,
titties,
money, money,
ass,
money,
titties,
money,
ass,
money,
titties,
money, money, money,
money.
retirement.